In a forbidden love that defies tradition, a fearless warrior and a humble village girl find themselves trapped between the powerful forces of destiny and dark, vengeful spirits. As rival clans, ancient curses, and a twisted betrayal threaten to tear them apart, they must make the ultimate sacrifice. Will their love survive the wrath of the ancestors, or will it be swallowed by the darkness? This love story from the Nigerian Igbo tribe will melt your heart and change the way you think about romance forever. Let's jump into it. In the peaceful Igbo village of Umuagu, Ezini was known for her beauty and kindness. Her dark skin glowed in the sunlight, and her laugh was like music to those who knew her. But despite her beauty, she was a simple village girl, born to a family of farmers. Her days were filled with hard work in the fields and caring for her family. One day, during the Yam Festival, a powerful man entered her life, Obinna, the son of Chief Ugwu. Tall and handsome, Obinna was a warrior in training, strong and proud. His status as the chief's son made him the most desirable bachelor in the village, expected to marry someone of noble birth. But fate had other plans. While Ezini was carrying a basket of yams to the festival, she tripped, spilling them across the dusty road. Before she could gather them, a shadow fell over her, and when she looked up, she saw Obinna. He smiled gently and knelt down to help her. "I'll help you," Obinna said softly, his deep voice comforting. Their hands brushed as they picked up the yams, and from that moment, something special bloomed between them. They began to meet in secret, under the old Iroko tree near the forest, where they spoke of dreams and love. But both knew their love was forbidden. Obinna was the son of a chief, and his father had already chosen a bride for him, Neka, the daughter of another chief. As their love grew, so did the whispers in the village. It wasn't long before Chief Ugwu learned of his son's secret affair with the village girl, and trouble began to brew. Chief Ugwu was furious when he heard about Obinna and Ezina. In his grand compound, decorated with woven mats and carved wooden stools, he confronted his son. Chief Ugwu wore his finest attire, a red cap and a richly woven wrapper adorned with beads, a clear sign of his authority. "Obinna," the chief said in a cold voice, "I have heard rumors. You are in love with Ezina, a girl who is not of noble birth." Obinna, standing tall in his warrior's attire, did not flinch. "Yes, father, I love her." Chief Ugwu narrowed his eyes. "You are betrothed to Neka, the daughter of Chief Okeki. This marriage will strengthen our ties with their village. You cannot break this bond for a farmer's daughter." "But I do not love Neka," Obinna protested, his voice steady. "My heart belongs to Ezina." "You will marry Neka," Chief Ugwu declared. "Our traditions demand it." Obinna was torn between his love for Ezina and his duty to his family. His father's words echoed in his mind, but he couldn't let go of the woman he loved. He knew he had to make a choice, but either path seemed destined to bring heartbreak. Meanwhile, in a neighboring village, a dark force was plotting against Obinna. Ekene, a warrior from Umudike, had long been jealous of Obinna. He had his eyes on Neka and was furious when he learned that she was betrothed to Obinna. When he heard of Obinna's love for Ezina, he saw an opportunity to strike. Ekene visited a powerful witch in the forest, a woman feared by all for her dark magic. The witch lived deep in the woods, in a hut made of twisted tree branches. Inside, strange objects hung from the ceiling, bones, feathers, and small clay pots filled with strange liquids. "I want to destroy Obinna," Ekene said, his voice filled with hatred. "I want him out of the way so I can marry Neka." The witch smiled, her eyes glowing in the dim light. "For a price," she said, "I can give you the power to ruin him. But be warned, once you start down this path, there will be no turning back." Without hesitation, Ekene agreed. The witch handed him a dark talisman carved from black wood and whispered a spell into it. "This talisman will give you control over the spirits of the ancestors. Use it wisely, or it will destroy you." Ikini grinned, his plan set in motion. With the talisman in hand, he returned to Umuagu, ready to tear Obina and Ezine apart. As the full moon rose over Umuagu, the village prepared for the annual festival honoring Ani, the earth goddess. The air was thick with excitement, but for Ezine and Obina, the night was filled with tension. They met under the Iroko tree, but something felt wrong. "We need to run away," Obina said, his voice urgent. "My father will never let us be together. We can start a new life far from here." Ezine hesitated. She loved Obina, but leaving her family and everything she knew seemed impossible. "But what if your father sends warriors after us?" she asked. "We'll be far away by then," Obina assured her. "We'll be free." Just as they embraced, a cold wind blew through the trees and a dark figure stepped out of the shadows. It was Ekene. In his hand, he held the talisman, glowing faintly in the moonlight. "You think you can escape?" Ekene sneered. "I will make sure your love never survives." Before Obina could react, Ekene raised the talisman, chanting the witch's spell. The air grew colder and suddenly, dark shadows began to rise from the ground. Spirits of the ancestors, their eyes glowing with anger. Obina drew his knife, but when he slashed at the spirits, the blade passed through them like smoke. The spirits moved toward Ezine, their cold hands reaching for her. She screamed, feeling their icy touch. But just as the spirits were about to drag Ezine away, a bright light burst from the trees. Neka's grandmother, a powerful priestess, stepped forward, chanting a counterspell. The spirits hissed and retreated, vanishing into the earth. Ekene's talisman shattered in his hand, and he fell to the ground, defeated. The priestess glared at him. "You have tampered with forces beyond your control," she warned. "The ancestors will not forgive this." But just as the priestess turned to leave, another twist struck like a lightning bolt. Suddenly, the ground beneath Ekene cracked open. The ancestors were not finished. Dark roots shot out, wrapping around his legs, pulling him down into the earth. He screamed, clawing at the ground, but it was too late. The spirits had claimed him. In moments, Ekene disappeared into the black void, his fate sealed forever. But the terror was far from over. A powerful gust of wind ripped through the clearing, and the same spirits who had attacked Ezine now turned toward Obina. Though Ekene had been taken, the curse he'd unleashed had grown stronger. The ancestors wanted more than revenge. They wanted balance. Obina and Ezine tried to run, but the ground itself seemed to turn against them. Trees bent, blocking their path, and the spirits circled closer. In a final act of desperation, Neka's grandmother stepped forward. She called out to the spirits in the ancient tongue of the ancestors, begging for mercy. "Their love is pure," she cried. "Do not punish them for the sins of another." The spirits hesitated, their glowing eyes fixed on Obina and Ezine. Time seemed to freeze, the air heavy with anticipation. Then slowly the spirits began to fade, their forms dissolving into the night. The curse was lifted, but at a terrible cost. Neka's grandmother collapsed, her energy drained. She had sacrificed her life to save the young lovers. With the curse broken, peace returned to Umuagu, but nothing would ever be the same. Ekene was gone, swallowed by the ancestors, and Neka's grandmother was mourned by the village. Her sacrifice had saved Obina and Ezine, but her death weighed heavily on their hearts. Chief Ugwu, seeing the lengths to which his son and Ezine had gone to protect their love, finally relented. He realized that true love was stronger than any tradition or duty. Obina and Ezine were married in a grand ceremony, their love now blessed by the village and the ancestors themselves. They wore their finest traditional clothes, Obina in a bright white wrapper with gold embroidery, and Ezine in a colorful beaded outfit that glimmered under the sun. But even as they celebrated, the memory of Ekene's curse lingered in the air, a reminder that love, though powerful, always comes with a price. In the end, Obina and Ezine's love survived against all odds, proving that the heart's path is full of twists, but it can triumph even in the face of dark forces and betrayal. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful stories from around the world.